What's up, people? It's me, Jeremy, here at the Utopians bus. Welcome to our channel. As this channel progresses and as this bus build progresses, hopefully so will the content. No more gardening, no more ranting about selling our home. That is all done and over with. So now we're on to the next stages of this adventure, this utopian dream that we're creating. Karen is out running errands today, and I don't expect her to be here with me right now. It's really hot here in Florida, and yeah, it's gonna get pretty dirty and dusty in here today. I've already grinded away, if you look in the back there, over my head, a whole bunch of rust from what came up from the wheel wells. This is an Ohio bus originally, so there's a lot of salt on the roads in places where it snows heavily, and that creates major corrosion in even galvanized metal, which is what these floors are made of originally, and then they get slowly eroded away from that coating and become gigantic rust buckets. So today Grandpa Val hooked me up with this nice 7.5-inch angle grinder, in addition to the one that I was already using, this little Harbor Freight. It's probably about $10 with some cutoff wheels and little grinder wheels, and this thing's tiny. Versus this, which will take a much larger, this is just a small version, but this is a grinder wheel, this is a wire brush, and a very heavy-duty wire brush. Got a spare of that right here, so thank you, Val, for helping me out with that. Gave me a couple plastic sawhorses and some vices for making our countertops when that time comes to do our kitchen and everything like that. We've got some really great creative ideas happening here in the Utopians bus, and I hope to see them all to fruition and live the life of our dreams. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. I've got a couple more bolts that I missed that are tripping me up from where the seats were grinded out, and gonna cut off those with the cutoff wheel, and then get to grinding the rest of the surface rust away and any flaking areas, so I can treat it. And we do that with OSPO. People use a variation of different things. This stuff is great. Rust inhibitor. It will actually turn the rust backwards. It says here, this is not a paint. It's a rust inhibiting coating. You don't have to remove tight rust, which means that, stuff that's just brown there. Just the surface stuff, the flaky stuff, get rid of the grease and the dirt and the grime that forms. And then you basically just apply this as it is. I've got myself a little, nice, $5 sprayer, garden sprayer from Walmart. Hopefully that'll hold up. I know you get what you pay for these days, but hopefully it'll work long enough to spray a gallon of OSPO through this thing. And so you put a nice coat down over all the rusty spots. You wait 24 hours overnight for it to heal, essentially. And then you go back in and you can coat it again. You can grind over top of that, and then it's not rust anymore, essentially. We'll probably have to do the same thing underneath the bus. There's quite a bit of scaling down there. Nothing major with the frame that's going to be detrimental to our bus or make it fall apart. These things are solid beasts. But definitely needs to be treated and a new undercoat given. Maybe something rubberized down there, or asphalt based or something like that, just to keep the corrosion from occurring in the future. So when you're doing stuff like this, you want to have your protective gear. This is OSHA recommended respirator. And you can't hear me now, of course, so you can't hear me with that. And then, of course, you've got your safety goggles and your gloves, and if you're a wimp like me, some knee pads to protect your knees while you're down on the ground like this. So yeah, I'm gonna get started with this, run a little time lapse on my Osmo. Definitely excited to start doing some filmography and cinematography. Up to this point, for the last about 20 years, I've been a professional and semi-professional photographer. I went to school at the Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale, and they just closed down their schools because of some ongoing lawsuits and things like that. It's a real shame. A lot of great instructors and mentors came out of that place and were treated poorly, and I feel really bad for them. But I got a great education, and I wouldn't have traded that experience for anything in the world, even though it's going to keep me in college debt for most likely a long, long time, because it's very expensive at those schools. But I learned all the essentials of being a creative artist, and I've always been visual, but never been able to apply it in a way that would provide for me and I could make a career out of. I never thought that I could be a professional photographer and make do. So here in Sebring, Florida, it's a small town, and I've done all right with that. But yeah, I want to get away from the rat race, and my better half, Karen, does as well. She's been a teacher for about 10 years now, tenured and everything, and we're just done, with the routines and stuff. We want to travel, we want to explore, we want to, test our own skills and strengths and abilities, and also, correct some of the things that we do bad in life, our weaknesses. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, trying to find utopia, even though a lot of people think that's non-existent, will help us be a better version of ourselves, essentially. So here at this bus build, at the Utopians bus, I'm going to get started. I'm going to set this little time lapse. Wish me luck, and see you around very soon. Thank you. So, of course, technology being what it is today, we've only got one battery for our Osmo, and it pooped out on us. I'm really hoping, I guess you'll see from the results of these cuts together, if I was able to get that time lapse of the rear and mid section of the bus, me grinding away. So now I'm going to work a little bit up here in the front, a little more. I got to remove the rubber things up there, probably some cutoff wheels to get those things off of the wheel wells, and yeah, then I'm gonna blow this place out with a leaf blower right out the back door and out the windows, and hopefully get it as dust free as possible. Maybe do a little sweeping. Might even have to wash it down, which I don't want to, but it is what it is. So this is just all part of the challenge of doing DIY projects of this extreme. A lot of people have faced these struggles, and I don't envy their struggles, but I also have learned a lot from them. Hopefully this video will be cohesive enough to post on YouTube and for people to be inspired by and learn from. So without further ado, again, I'm just going to go ahead and video this and maybe speed it up if I can, figure out how to do that in video editing. Definitely going to need some primer courses on that, so got my work cut out for me. So I'm just going to do a video here, try to cut out the noise hopefully. I don't know how that's going to work, audio, video, it's all a new thing to me. So wish me luck. I'm going to continue grinding away, and yeah, see you again very soon. task, but I'm not complaining. This is our home, and home is where the heart is. Okay, so what's next? I think I'm going to blow this all out the back door. Ruts, sweep up the major stuff so I'm not polluting the ground too much. Yeah. Another bit of useful information. These buses have curved ceilings, obviously. As many of you have been in school buses, you know how that goes. You can see that. So it's a radius you're dealing with. It's no longer, you know, square angles and things like that. So there's ways to measure all of that, and I won't get into detail about that. But during our basic demolition of the floor, the subfloor that was originally in here, it's basically, you know, this metal that's here, and then there's rubber, plywood on top of that, and then on top of that is glued down the rubber flooring with the little metal strips and everything. So I cut out this piece of wood from the back corner there because it's also on a curve and a radius, and trying to measure something like that and get a nice measurement, you know, for flooring, for, you know, building walls too, things like that can be very difficult if you're not very good with a radius or compass, or you're not a mason or something like that. So it's always good to maybe just cut off a corner of your original stuff before throwing everything away. And yeah, that'll come in handy later when it's time to put our new subfloor in. So just wanted to share that bit of info with you. What's up, guys? So I'm gonna call it a day for today. The Osmo died on me. I need to get some more batteries and a charger that'll handle all that. But started cutting into the floor here, so I'm just gonna remove these panels that are really bad and replace them with some galvanized, and that'll give me access to the frame underneath, so I can also treat some of that rusted out frame from all the salt. Also did another big thing and got rid of the heaters and the majority of that heater hosing that's getting in the way, and I'll figure out the wires later and pull those. So yeah, good progress today. Worn out, had lunch with Grandpa, and headed back home now to go relax, maybe take the day off tomorrow. So anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for following and watching, and appreciate it. See you soon.